Hi everybody, today I wanted to tell you all about events because last night I had the best time. I went to speak at a Starbucks in Faneuil Hall down in Boston, and it was amazing. We had a group of really engaged people who just wanted to learn about this. The topic of the live event was how to choose your perfect business idea, and I actually recorded the session. I plan on sharing it with you guys at some point in some way, shape, or form, so stay tuned for that. But it was an amazing session. I actually don't know why I keep doing this to myself, that every time that I sign up for a speaking event or every time that I sign up to teach something, I feel like I need to recreate the wheel, reinvent the wheel. I have to recreate a new slide deck because I try to really think about what my audience absolutely wants to hear. And many times it's not reusing content that I've used before. Many times it's just, okay, they want to hear about this, so I'm going to create a kick-ass pitch about that, right? So on Monday, which was the day that I spent with my son, I spent all day basically just brainstorming, how am I going to do this? And while he slept, I got most of the presentation done. It was like 2 hours. Got most of my presentation done. And at night, in the evening, I kind of finished the final touches. And I was really proud of it. I was hoping it would land well. And usually it does. I'm a really good speaker. I'm, very engaging. I have a lot of energy. And this is just based on feedback that I've received. I've done this so many times that it seems like, everybody has agreed to tell me, I love your energy. It's feedback that I get all the time. So I've gotten a lot of really good positive reinforcement when I speak. And it keeps me doing it, right? What if I kept hearing, you kind of suck. I don't think that I would have the courage to continue to do it. So yeah, so it keeps me going. So I strive for creating a really unique, wonderful experience in the presentation, almost workshop style, not just like, hey, come here and watch me speak, Q&A at the end. It's just basically, let's work through it together, right? And I thought it was a really good presentation, if I can say so myself. So I had such a great time. I wanted to come and tell you why I do these events. It's not like I'm signing clients right there. I'm really not. Usually these things are part of a nurture process, part of a nurture sequence, part of getting my face out there, getting my name out there so that people know what I do, so people really understand what I do, so that when they need me, I'm front of mind to help them. Okay? So let me tell you, what I wanted to tell you about today is if you are starting a business, if you're going to be teaching people something, if you need to get the word out there, don't just stay online. That's what I did. I in the beginning, like my whole first year, it was all online. And I'm going to tell you, like building an online audience, it's not easy and it takes a long time. So be in front of mind for someone, it really takes a while for them to get to like you, know you, and trust you. And I found that when I get up on stage, that process speeds up, right? That process gets a little bit faster, where I become an authority by the simple fact that I'm the one teaching you something and I'm up on stage doing it. So what I wanted to come and teach you is, if you're thinking about starting a business and creating an online audience and turning your audience traffic into clients, what you're going to want to do is also complement it with some local events. Okay? And I'm not the kind of person to tell you, hey, focus on your local market, because that's BS. Okay? Because your local market is actually quite small. But because we're doing this online, you actually have a global market. I have international clients, right? I didn't set out to find international clients, but I did. They found me some way, we found each other, and we worked together. So I want to encourage you to think globally. You're a global brand as soon as you get on the internet. But leveraging your local people is a really good way to get to know people face to face and to really understand where they are and what they need. So I'm going to give you a few tips for how to do this, but really I wanted to dive deep into the technical part of this. How do you set this up? I want to tell you about, should you get paid for the event? Should it be a free event? What are the advantages and disadvantages of each? What date and times are good for you to have your event? What if nobody shows up to your event? Okay, all of this I want to cover right now. But before I do, I want to remind you that on December 3rd, 2019, I'm going to be releasing a series of interviews in the Facebook group. The Facebook group is called Trailblazing Out of Corporate Life for High Achievers and Go-Getters. But you can get to it with a short link. If you go to inacoveney.com/Facebook, that's my Facebook group. But you have to spell Coveney right. It ends in EY. And like I told you in the beginning of this episode, the intro of this episode, these interviews are critical to rewiring your brain to understand that you can do all of this too. This is not reserved for a select few that have a few resources, more resources or more time than you. Anybody can do this, and you learn that by filling your brain with other people who have done it. So that's what these series of interviews are for. I interviewed 14 ex-employees to tell you how they did it and what they can teach you about doing it yourself. Okay, so I want to make sure you all sign up for this. Go to www.2020visionlectures.com. That's 2020visionlectures.com. Go and sign up, because the people who sign up and get that first email, that email is going to be different if people sign up on December 3rd. You get more opportunities before you sign up on December 3rd, like before the event actually starts on December 3rd, than when the event begins. I reward the early birds. So don't be a spectator in your life, like my friend Vincent Puglisi likes to say. And by the way, I interviewed him in this summit. You're going to want to hear from him. Such a bright mind out there. So don't be a spectator in your life. Find out what's going on behind the scenes. Go and sign up and read that email in full, because I'm not going to go over the details here. Okay? All right. So let's talk about events. First of all, why do live events? I told you already a little bit about it, but here's the reason. When somebody sees you up on stage, it immediately says something about you. It immediately says that you are an authority at whatever it is that you do. It's a really easy way, really fast way for people to see you as in an elevated capacity, right? As somebody they can learn from, okay? And this is what you want, because people want to follow leaders. People don't want to follow the follower. All right. So to set yourself up as a leader, being on stage is so powerful. So one of the first things that I do is, when I set up one of these events and I know there's going to be people coming, I hire a photographer. So it's not just for the people who are in the room. Okay. The 5 people that I'm speaking to in the room, right? They're going to get that personal attention, but I'm going to go out, get professional photos taken, and I'm going to post them online. So that way, that effect of seeing you up on stage can get multiplied across the world. It's not just happening in that room. Okay? So why do we do it? For the authority and to get to meet people face to face, because that's a really important part of having a business, is talking to people. So let's cover a few areas. Why don't we start with researching? Okay, suppose that you want to have an event where you're going to be helping people through their divorce. Okay, you're a divorce empowerment coach. Okay, and by the way, if that sounds like a job that you feel like should exist in the world, it does. And one of my clients is it. Go to farahblakely.com. That's Farrah, Farah Blakely, Blakely, Blakely.com. She is a confidence after divorce coach and an empowerment coach for women going through divorce. All right. So go and check her out. But I'm going to use her as an example. What if she wants to set up an event where she can attract women who are going through this and who need her help? Okay. The first thing she's going to do is go and research, go on Eventbrite and go and research what events for divorced women there already exist in her area, right? If she lives in a large city or in a suburb, it's time to look around, right? Within a half-hour driving distance, what events exist already for this and who is sponsoring them, right? Who is hosting them? Are the events free? Does it look appealing, right? Do they use good images? Do they use a good title? Are they Googleable, right? If I'm looking for something for, to get rid of my body fat, right? I'm going to type fat or I'm going to type exercise or something, right? You got to think of what people are going to be searching for. So if I named my program Be Found, right? And I named my event Be Found, how likely is it that people are going to actually find it? I'll see what I did there. There's zero chance. If people are looking for publicity, or they're looking to increase their exposure online, or they're looking to start an online business, these are things they're going to be typing in. They're not going to be typing the name of my program into the search bar. So go and find out how these people named other events, named the titles, and also search week by week to see if these events, after they're over, if they recur. Are these events weekly, monthly? How are they doing them? Go to these events and see what shape they have, see what the format is, see what the structure is, see how many people are showing up, so you know what to expect, and get to meet people who are going to those events, right? Friend them on Facebook, and that way they'll get notifications if you have an event coming up. All right. So that's the research part. You gotta know basically your market, right? You gotta know what this event is for, and are people looking for it, and how do I make it searchable online? So how do you go about setting this up? The first thing you need to know is you need an Eventbrite organizer account. Now, there are different packages that you can purchase. Eventbrite is free for free events, but you have to pay if you're going to have a paid event. All right. And I believe I have the professional package, which I really like. It has unlimited ticket types, right? So if I wanted to have a VIP ticket versus a not, I can do that, but I can't do that in the essentials package. All right. That's as much as I'm going to say about Eventbrite. They're not paying me for this advertisement, but I do want to let you know that a lot of people just browse Eventbrite for things happening in their area. Okay. Another really good one that I'm not on, and I'll tell you why, is Groupon. Groupon is actually a really good one if you're going to be selling tickets for events. The thing is that they don't want to advertise service providers. They care about basically something that is going to be like a paint night, or it's going to be like learn how to make sushi, but they don't want to advertise events for, support groups or things like that. That's basically an advertisement for your business. That's why I'm not in it. They simply did not allow me to advertise there. So I'm not on Groupon, but it's one for you to check out if you're going to be teaching, teaching people something that they're going to walk away with. Like if you're going to teach people pottery or, how to cook or things like that. Groupon likes those. Anything that looks like a fun date night. Unfortunately, learning how to make a podcast is not considered a fun date night. So they didn't let me. But Eventbrite is a really good one. Here's the deal. When you create your event on Eventbrite, which is super easy, and they have many, many really good choices, they have many good options there. After you set it up, it will take you to a page saying, do you want to advertise this event on Facebook? And the answer will be yes. You need a Facebook business page, because what it's going to do is take that Eventbrite ticket, right? That Eventbrite event, and post it as an event on your Facebook business page. So even if the event is paid, it's not like you see normal Facebook events, right? It's like, I'm going, I'm not going, I'm interested, I'm not interested. It's not like that. If it's a paid event, Facebook has integrated with Eventbrite so that even if somebody signs up through Facebook, they pay through Eventbrite. Okay. So that's a really cool synergy there, because if people find your event through Facebook, they can still pay through your Eventbrite account. Okay. So that's right there, 2 places that you can advertise it in. Let's talk about a third. What I do is I go to thebostoncalendar.com. This is a free service, a free place where people can advertise their events, and they can be free or paid. The thing is that they don't have the ability to set up a payment center, a payment page. So what you do is you post the link to the event as the Eventbrite link. Okay, so people don't pay through thebostoncalendar.com. The bostoncalendar.com directs them to the Eventbrite link so that they can pay, but it advertises it there. And one person who came to my event last night found it through the event calendar. She said that a lot of people use it, and it's great. Okay, that works. I'm gonna keep doing that. So you gotta find someplace in your area that has that kind of public fun events. I assure you they exist, paid and not paid. There is another one here in Boston that I have not signed up for, but it actually helps you advertise your event and blast it to thousands of people and all of that. So it's like a calendar, but you have to pay to be on it. right? And it reaches more people. The more you pay, the better the advertising, essentially. And I haven't had the need to do that, so I haven't. But there's gotta be events like that, event calendars like that in your area. Find out what they are, sign up for it, and advertise your event wherever you can, especially if it's for free. If they let you advertise for free, do it. Okay, so you've set up Eventbrite. You have a Facebook page where Eventbrite posted your event. You should know, though, that as soon as you do that, if you edit your event on Eventbrite, it's not going to automatically populate on Facebook. Okay, so you kind of have to treat them like two separate events from that point on. So if you edit something, like change the time that it started, you need to go back to Facebook and update that there. Okay, find a third calendar to submit your event to. And how do you get people to find out about the event? It's not just posting them. That's not enough, okay? Because I'm going to tell you what happens with free events. With free events, you should expect that 20% of the people who signed up will actually show up, all right? Last night, we actually had a really good turnout. We had 20 people sign up through my link, and I don't know what advertising Starbucks Women's Network was doing on their side. Some of them actually, they sent out an email to their audience, and some came through that. So I got to sign up 20 people through my Eventbrite link, and we had a room of 13 people, out of which 3 were organizers. So that's 10 people, right? And I know that 2 or 3 of those came from the Starbucks effort of advertising. So we got about 7 people who found it through Facebook, through Eventbrite, through like all of these other mediums that I posted it on. So 20 people signed up and about 7 showed up. That was a really good turnout. I would have expected 5, right? Always expect 20% for free events, all right? So by the way, if you have 5 people sign up, 20% is 1 person. That's why the more people you reach, the more people sign up, the better. And I know that's super obvious, but I thought I would say that in this context. When do you start advertising it? No more than 2 weeks before. Okay, at the 2-week mark, that's when the advertising should really kick off. You can post your event whenever you want, by the way. If you already found the venue and you already found a good time, lock those down, set up your event, right? On Eventbrite, on Facebook, on whatever calendar you want to post it on, all right? Do that, but don't start really putting funds behind it. Don't start putting like advertising behind it until 2 weeks before. Why? Because people forget what they signed up for. Okay? People just forget. If they signed up a month in advance, chances are they're just going to deprioritize it. Like, well, that sounded relevant at the time and it's not anymore. So 2 weeks before is when you start advertising it. So I'm going to tell you what I do. Okay? By the way, the more money you put behind an ad, the more effective it is. What I do is $50 for my ad, period. Even if I do either $50 1 week before the event or $50 2 weeks before the event, but I don't go beyond that because I normally get a few people and that's really all I need, right? What do you need for your event? Okay. And usually my events are paid. They're $15. They're basically just to fill the seats, right? So that I don't have to deal with that 20%. So let's get to that. Now let me say one more thing about advertising. Advertising means posting this everywhere, not just posting it once on your Facebook profile. It's posting it all the time. The only thing you talk about for those 2 weeks is this event. You go and you ask other people who have Facebook groups, right, who talk about this stuff. Go and tell them, hey, I have an event. I would love to tell your people about it. Or is there anything that I can teach your people so that I can invite them to my event? You go and you advertise the heck out of it. Everywhere you can for 2 whole weeks, plus the ad spend. Plus, if there's local calendars that require you to pay to be on them, pay them and do it, okay? So this is basically like the price of the leads that you're going to get from that session, okay? So free events versus paid events. Free events, like I just told you, it's great, but what if nobody shows up because you only got 5 people to sign up? If 5 people signed up, chances are you're going to be sitting in a room alone. Okay, so get the most people you can to sign up and expect 20%. Paid events. This is what I do. because I don't make my money off of teaching. I make my money off of one-on-one client work, off of group programs, of like everything else that happens in the back end. So all of this is really marketing and advertising for me. I am paying, to advertise my events. And when they pay, it just basically guarantees that they're going to show up. That's why my events are like $15, right? That's why, because I want to make it really accessible. I wanted to make it a no-brainer, but I also want to make it enough that people won't want to skip. And I've been getting a really good track record with that. A lot of people come. Like everybody who signs up for my classes pretty much comes, right? Every once in a while, I get one person who requests a refund and I'll tell you about the refunds in a second, okay? But when you charge for the event and you promise something tangible, right? It's not just a support group, right? When you offer that you're going to teach them something of value, that's when you can charge for an event, okay? Make it low. Remember, this is all about your visibility, okay? Now, there's a third option, which is a seat reservation fee. I could charge people $7 just to reserve their seat, and when they come in through the door, I'll give them the refund, right? That just guarantees that they're going to come and show up. If they pay for the ticket and they don't show up, they don't get a refund. So that way, it's a free event for them, and I don't have to deal with the 20% attendance, right? So that's a third way of attracting people. The only problem with this one is that it's really hard to explain, especially when they see the event, right? When they see the event on the listing, when they see that it's $7, they're going to assume they're paying $7 and not getting to keep it. So it's something that you would have to make really obvious in the title, right? This is like a refundable ticket fee, right? A refundable ticket, or a free ticket with refund, or guaranteed refund, or rebate, or something like that. You have to make it really obvious that those $7 are going back to them. What about refunds? So what if somebody requests a refund? Always give it, and give it really fast and right away. Okay, I actually had a situation where one of my students, she ordered 2 tickets, but then her partner requested 1 ticket. So they bought 3 tickets for just the 2 of them. So she sent me a message and said, hey, I just realized that I'm a doofus and we just paid for 3 tickets when we really just needed 2. So can you please cancel one of the tickets? And Eventbrite wouldn't let me do it because they had just signed up, so the credit card actually hadn't finished processing yet, so it wouldn't let me do it, and the teaching was that night. So I told her, hey, I'll bring cash to you at the event. She said, okay, that's no problem. So when we got there, I realized that in my rush to get out the door, I forgot to bring the cash. And I talked to her. I profusely apologized. I told her I will refund you as soon as Eventbrite clears the credit card. I will refund you that ticket. I am so sorry. And she's like, I'm not worried about it. No worries, no problem. That's okay. And I did. As soon as I got home, it had finished processing, and I did it right away. What if somebody doesn't meet the refund policy, right? My policy is you must tell me that you're not coming by the time of the class. Otherwise, you don't get a refund. And I communicate that in the email that goes before the event, right? And that's one thing I didn't mention. I guess I'll get to it in a second. It's about emailing people before the event. But I do tell them, your refund policy is you can get a full refund, including the Eventbrite fee, if you let me know that you're not coming by the time of the class, okay? It's never happened that people request a refund after the class, but even if it had, like even if people sent me an email the next day saying, sorry, I couldn't make it, can I have a refund? The answer is yes, you can. Okay, even if somebody came to the class and they were not satisfied, they want a refund, the answer is yes. Always give a refund. You guys, people don't remember what you say, they remember how you made them feel. Okay, so don't hang on to $15 just so that you can make a point. Okay, remember that everybody you run into, they could be your next client. They could be your next friend. They could be somebody who gives you a really big opportunity down the line. They could be someone that you can help down the line. You never know where connections are going to take you. So between money and a connection, always choose the connection. That's just being in integrity. All right? Don't let the greed, don't let the money take you away from making a valuable connection with someone. Okay, so let's talk about when to plan your event for. Okay, what days are good, what times are good. All of that goes with your research, right? At what time are people willing to go to these events? But I'm going to give you 2 dates and times that work wonders. And I always tell everyone, if you're going to plan a live event, like, support group, or I'm going to come and teach you something, I always tell people to plan 2 events, especially the first time they do it. Plan 2. One on Thursday night and one on Monday morning. Okay, why is this? Because this is your first time doing it. You actually don't know what date will work. So suppose that you decided that actually Friday at noon works really well for you, and your audience is at home anyway. They're gonna love it. It's gonna be fine. You pick a location you think is the perfect time. Now, it turns out that on that day, right, it's the Friday before the Super Bowl, or it's Good Friday, or it's you get the biggest snowstorm nor'easter of the year, right? You don't know what's going to happen on that day that is going to make it impossible for people who really, really wanted to go from going, right? What's going to prevent them from going that you can't even tell? So what you do is you offer 2 possible dates, one Thursday night, one Saturday morning, and see which one is most popular. Maybe you'll get an even load, right? But then after that, you can see, okay, which group actually gave me a return for my investment? Which group gave me an actual client, right? And you can figure that out down the line. But you want to kind of hedge your bets a little bit, okay? So yeah, those 2 dates is what I tell you, what I tell everybody. Set up 2 dates, but now those 2 dates can't happen on the same week. You're not advertising them at the same time, okay? Give them at least 2 weeks of separation so that you can test one versus the other. So have the Thursday night first, advertise the heck out of it for 2 weeks, and then once it's over, 2 more weeks before the next one, and start advertising it like heck, and then see what happens. Okay, see which one actually worked. All right, so what if nobody comes to your event? This is like fear of failure 101, right? Who would want to go and see me talk about a topic? Who can I help with this? What if they come and they hate me, right? Like all these things go through my mind, or used to. Now I've gotten a little bit more confident with these, that I know it's going to be a great experience for everybody who goes. But at first I was like, okay, deep breaths, just assume people are here because they want to learn something new, and that's what you can give them, okay? Like, people are not here to hate you. People are not gonna get out of their house and stop having time with their family and skip dinner at home to go someplace and be better, right? You would have to be really, 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 really bad for people to be better. People are mostly going to try to excuse the fact that they got out of the house and went someplace to learn something. They're going to try to excuse it with a positive excuse, right? Oh, it was a great time. It was totally worth it. That's what people want to believe. So use that. What you want to do is, first of all, know what you're going to do that day, and make sure that the promise is going to be met, okay? Whoever goes there, they want to get that thing. So as long as you're going to give it to them, they're going to walk away enchanted and delighted, okay? So what if nobody comes to your event? What if you go and you're sitting there by yourself? There's a few things that I can tell you to do. But first, don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged, okay? We all have those moments. We all do. I had one of my first free events, because mostly I had been doing paid events, and if people don't sign up the day before, I just cancel the event, right? So there's never been a situation where I'm sitting there by myself. And maybe that's something that you want to think about too. Give people until the day before to sign up, and if nobody signed up, then cancel the event and move it. Okay, that way you're not sitting in a room by yourself. But I do get some signups on the same day of the event. Like a lot of the time, I get 1 or 2 signups that day. So people tend to leave things for the last minute. So give them that time, okay, before you cancel the event. So what if nobody comes? This happened to me once. My first free event, I got 20 people who signed up, and nobody had told me about the 20% rule. And I went there. I got there early. I hired a photographer. I set up 20 chairs. 5 people showed up. I was broken inside. I was like, oh my God. And I was mad and I was angry, even though I actually got a client out of that event. Look how that works, right? I actually got a client out of that event. But I was so mad that those 15 people didn't come. I was so mad. So I want to kind of, first of all, protect yourself, protect your mindset, not get you to think like, well, screw this and I'm never trying this again. I want to prevent you from thinking that, okay? Because I want you to put yourself out there. I want these events to work for you because they have worked like wonders for me. Okay, so what if nobody comes? Here are a few things that you can do. Number one, increase your ad budget or continue to test different ways to advertise your event. Okay, the way that I advertise events is I just go to Facebook, to that Facebook event that Eventbrite created, and I boost it. Okay, it has a good image, it has an appealing message. I narrow down the audience to local people who are interested in, for example, podcasting, right? And I blast it at them, $50 worth for the week, right? So if nobody was coming, instead of $50, I'll do $100 next time, and maybe more people will sign up. Another thing you can do is to ask people that you know who support you to share your event. Ask for favors. Tell people, hey, do you know anybody who is going through a divorce who, would want to get together with me and we can just lick each other's wounds and I can teach them a few techniques to move past it and to get over and to move on with life, right? Ask people that you know to share your event, people who are supportive of you. There's a lot of people out there who want to watch you succeed. Number 3, talk about it a lot more, all right? My first question would be, how often did you post the event? If it was just once, 2 weeks before the event, that's too little. That's too few posts, okay? You should be posting about it every day, every other day. You should be going live and talking about it. Every time that you put out content, your call to action is to invite people to the event. For those 2 weeks, that should be the only thing you live and breathe. Another thing that you can do to get more eyeballs on it is to go to other people's events and get to meet the people who are in there. Observe and watch and learn what the organizers are doing right and meet everybody who has gone there in attendance so you get to meet more of the kind of people that would go to your event. All right? You're not going there to poach clients. This is very important. Stay in integrity with yourself. Don't do anything that feels icky. Go there and introduce yourself to the organizers and say, hi, I'm actually an empowerment coach too, and I got really interested in your event. I would love to have a cup of coffee and see how you guys planned this whole thing. When did you start? Because I would love to do something like this. Maybe we can collaborate at some point. Let's learn about each other. So go there and get to meet people in that industry and find out more about what makes them tick, and then meet people in the audience because you're an audience member too. So that is really going to help to get to meet them and get them to know you too. And finally, you can create a paid version of your free event. So what you have to do is amp up the value that you're giving to everybody in attendance by giving them something, by letting them walk away with something tangible or something that they learn or a new opportunity, or promise them something else, something that they would totally pay for. And that way you can increase the price of the event. It makes it completely different from all the other free events that are just kind of like support groups, and it differentiates you, right? And now you know who is coming to your event. Finally, don't get discouraged. I know there's a lot more to this than I have spoken about, but I really hope that this helps you get started with your events. Oh, and I mentioned sending an email to your attendees. I always do this the day before. I send everybody an email saying, I'm so happy they're going to be there. And by the way, if your plans have changed, please let me know by replying to this email. And I do that every time so that I prepare myself for how many people are going to show up. And that way I know that the people who signed up are not going to come and they respond to the email. Those are people to watch, because that means that they have a very high level of integrity. They don't want to stand you up, right? So respond to them, say thank you so much for letting me know. In fact, that's what I'm gonna do today. And some of you may be watching, you may have sent me that email. I'm about to respond to you and say, thank you so much for letting me know. It's really useful for me to know this information. And I really hope that you can make it to the next one, which is totally true. I really hope that they can, so we can finally meet face to face. right? So all of these things, all packed together, will make for a really, really successful event. Now, to this day, I have not filled a room of 20 people, but I've done this so much that I know that if just one person is about to show up, I still hold the event. And I've done this in the past, actually, in my podcasting for beginners class that I teach with, in my new little venture, podcasting classes in Boston.com. I had one person show up to one of the classes and we recorded a podcast together, and she walked away with a lot of value, and it was great to meet her. So I always keep the event up even if only one person showed up. Okay. So I really hope that was helpful. If you guys have any questions about this, head over to the Facebook group and let me know. Just type up a message. If you go to the units section in the Facebook group, there is the Trailblazing Out of Corporate Life full episodes. So go to episode 67, which is this one, and leave me a comment in that video. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have about events. And I guess that's basically it. If you liked this episode and you're on your phone right now, would you take a screenshot of it and post it on Instagram? Tag me on it. I'm at Ina Coveney, and tell everybody that you got a lot out of it. I would love to do that, and that way I can restory it, right? And say thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for telling everybody about it. So I hope that was helpful, and I will talk to you guys soon. Good luck with your events. Bye. Yay, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to click subscribe right here. And if you're a podcast listener, go and search for Trailblazing Out of Corporate Life, and you'll get me through your ears. All right, guys, have a great one, and don't forget, right here, subscribe.